Hello my fiery friends, welcome to another awesome and fiery fun stream. I'm your host the Infernoman here, and hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you are at. Whew, okay, so we weren't expecting to do a stream today, but we had a little bit of time, so we're going to see if we could squeeze one in, and we're going to fire off with a deck that I put together that actually is a little bit more on the serious side. But what exactly are we going to be playing today? Well, I'm glad you asked. So without further ado, let's just jump into it right now and show you exactly what we're going to be playing with today. So, without further ado, join me today as we're going to be playing in the Ranked Brawl format that has just popped up in recent times here on Arena. Normally when we do Brawl decks, we always try to do something fun and, just something casual. But this time around, we're going to see if we can go a little bit more on the serious side. So, just as a disclaimer for this one, since it's going to be Ranked Brawl, that means it's going to be serious. In other words, we will not be doing our normal budget versions of decks today. We're going to be doing a serious one that is going to be a little bit more on the expensive side, but don't worry, I will talk about again if you do like the deck that we're playing with today and maybe want to try a different variation. We'll show you some examples of some budget versions if you do like what we're going to be trying to rock for today. So with that, let's go ahead, let's come into it right now. We're going to just jump right into this here and start up the Ranked Brawl. Now, although we only need one win to actually get the bonus, we're going to see how many matches we can see and play with to see what we can rock with. So we're going to be submitting Urza Unleashed. So that's how it's going to be going today. All right, hold on one second, everybody, while I try to set one more thing here. All right, hold on. Sorry. There we go. Okay. Beautiful. So before we get started, let's go ahead and talk about the deck itself and explain to you exactly how it's going to work. So with that, let's go over and explain this now. So this is going to be, as I mentioned, Urza Unleashed. So it's going to be pretty much an all artifact deck that's trying to partially combo off, little mid-range here, mostly just going to see if we could just blow away our opponent and just oppress them with what we're going to be having. So I figured when we were trying to figure out, when I was putting this together, what would be a good deck to put together for a Ranked Brawl. Brawl is definitely a lot different than 60 card, because 60 card you have the consistency and you have a much more smaller card pool to work with here. But since we're going to be playing with Brawl, I had to figure out what was going to be our best option here, and I figured, well, Urza here tends to be a very, very nasty card in, from what I've seen, competitive EDH, or other words, competitive commander, so CEDH. So I figured, you know what, maybe he can translate decently to this. He doesn't have all the pieces that normally you would have in the actual CEDH format, only just because the limitations here of being on Arena means we will be missing out on a good chunk of the cards we would like to have. But I think we can still put together something that's going to be just as bad. Now, granted, a fair warning, I didn't do too much research on this, but I pretty much tried to throw together as many cards as possible that are considered very, very strong and actually kind of like borderline scary when they're all placed together in the same deck. So again, while this is not going to be a budget version of Urza, we can put one together maybe if you guys are interested in the future. But at least for today, I wanted to see how serious we can get when we play something truly competitive. So, starting off with it, we're going to be talking about, of course, Urza, Lord High Artificer. Oh, actually, I forgot. We should talk about the stats of the deck before we get started. So, Urza Unleashed here is going to be mono blue with a dash of colorless. So that means it's going to be an average mana curve about 2.6. We in total only have 17 creatures in the actual deck, but we have 15 instants, 2 sorceries, 35 artifacts, 6 enchantments, 3 planeswalkers, and 35 lands. So the 35 lands actually is a little bit misleading because we do have some cards that can be counted as lands, and that's actually mostly what you want to do. We're going to be trying to trim down a little bit less on lands because we want to try to fit in as many of our powerful artifacts as much as we can. But otherwise, circling back to the commanders you're going to be playing with here, Urza, Lord High Artificer, and of course, one of the most legendary creatures in all of Magic the Gathering. In fact, he was here since the very beginning. But Urza here in this version is a mono blue legendary creature, Human Artificer. He is a 1/4, and it reads, when Urza enters, create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token with an ability of its own. The ability allows you to get +1/+1 for each artifact you control. So at bare minimum, the construct that he creates just simply a 1/1, which again doesn't sound too exciting, but of course it gets bigger and bigger with every artifact we will have. You can also tap an untapped artifact you control to add blue mana. So Urza alone creates for us a body. He also creates for us some pseudo ramp once we start tapping down all of our creatures to then make some more blue mana to help us cast more of our spells. And of course, his final ability, and the ability that makes him really, really nasty, by the way, for 5 mana, you shuffle your library, then you exile the top card on it. And until the end of turn, you can play that card for free. So that's pretty much what you're going to be doing. You're going to be doing a lot of spin it to win it's with Urza here. Just hopefully just start casting everything for free and just hopefully just blow away your opponent with the value we'll be able to drive with this deck. So that's the whole game plan. Everything else, we just try to cram in as many broken artifacts as we can to see how well this can do. I've only got the chance to test this out a couple times last night because honestly, I wasn't expecting to actually live stream today. But you know what? We're going to just make it work just the same. So starting off in the 0 and 1 drop slot, we are going to throw off Mishra's Bauble here. Simple little artifact. You sacrifice it and just take a peek at your opponent's hand. But mostly, again, we're rolling these because it's a free spell. Since we are going to be playing, again, non-budget, we're going to take advantage of some much more stronger artifacts, such as Mox Amber, Mox Opal here. So these are going to be great Mox in here, just to make sure we can keep our game plan going. Mox Amber can be tapped for any color as long as we control a legendary creature or planeswalker. And Mox Opal here, as long as we have 3 or more artifacts, this can tap for any mana. Bassy Cutie 123, keep it up. Well, thank you at the end for that. How are you doing today, my fire friend? And thanks again for joining us today. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. Appreciate you being here. So we're just going to go ahead continuing on here. We have some more free spells for us. We have Ornithopter here. Doesn't really do much on its own, but technically once we have Urza out, it can be counted as a mana dork, so we'll get that going. It's going to be great. Tormod's Crypt here is also great because we can sacrifice it at instant speed, and it's a free spell to exile a player's graveyard. So this, again, is going to be our graveyard hate for the deck. We're going to throw in some more artifacts and mixing together some counter spells because we are blue. So, of course, what better way to mess with your opponent than playing counter spells? So we have an offer you can't refuse. You can counter a non-creature spell, but however, the controller creates 2 treasure tokens. If in a pinch we end up getting countered ourselves, we can actually counter our own spell just to kind of give us some pseudo ramp of treasures. We have a null here for countering artifacts and enchantments. Boomerang Basics here is a bounce effect, which can bounce back a non-land permanent. If we control the permanent, we just simply draw another card. Brainstorm here is actually pretty nice for our deck. If we can play this with Urza out and want to avoid getting locked out with the cards, draw 3 cards, put 2 cards back on top, and maybe you can then respin it with Urza to shuffle your deck and get away the cards you actually don't want to deal with. So that's actually nice. Dispel here is another counter spell, but it counters just instants. Murata, Neuron Hacker, we actually built a deck around her specifically several months ago when the Spider-Man/Owen Path set came out. So, if anything else, she works really well with the deck, so we decided she could be great in the 99, providing support for Urza and his plan. As the game progresses, you'll get more counters on Murata here, and then that means you can start casting spells also with her for free. So she works really well with our game plan. Sewer Valence Cam here, simple little artifact that has flash. When it enters, you can tap or untap a creature, and it does the same thing if it leaves the battlefield. Sacrifice it for 4 mana later on to draw 2 cards. The Enigma Jewel here provides for us another way to pseudo ramp. However, the ramp only works if we're activating abilities, so just be aware of that when you play this card. We're also going to throw in Wash Away. It's going to be a staple for any one of our decks because we can counter a creature or any kind of spell that wasn't cast from its owner's hand. Ideally, you're going to save this for mostly just preventing your opponent from using their commander, so it's pretty gnarly in that sense. Going into the 2 drop slot, we have Cryogen Relic here. When it enters or leaves the battlefield, just simply draw a card. Sacrifice if you need to then stun something and then tap it down. But of course, we're going to be playing, as I mentioned, non-budget, so we have to throw in Cyclonic Rift here to bounce away everything. So a pseudo one-sided round that can completely turn the game in our favor, so this can be really nasty. Diversion Unit here is a robot that has flying. You can sacrifice if you need to counter an instant or sorcery spell, unless the controller pays through. If nothing else, it just does some early game damage. Divert Disaster here probably is going to be our weakest of our counter spells, but hear me out for a second. Even in a competitive format, this can still have some merit with Urza, mostly because if your opponent does pay the 2 for the counter spell, we have to create a lander token, which gives us, again, another artifact we can put on the field, and if we need to, sacrifice it in a pinch, just to, again, just get out another basic. Eaten Piranhas, as you have noticed, of course, since we are playing Mono Blue, that means we're not very good on dealing with some non-land permanents. So this can, of course, flash itself in and then make a creature lose all abilities, making it a skeleton that's 1/1. So this can be good to maybe lock out certain planeswalkers and prevent our opponent from kind of going off. Fear of Isolation, again, same thing. It may look a little clunky in the deck, but hear me out. There are going to be some spells, some artifacts, and some enchantments we always don't want on the field, or maybe we want to recast for more value. So Fear of Isolation makes us bounce back a permanent, and we get a 2/3 body on the field to put it down. An example of this where it helps out is going to be for cards like the One Ring, because the One Ring eventually could kill you, so that's actually kind of bad. So if we can bounce it back and forth with Fear of Isolation, that helps us recast it and allows us to keep doing some nasty combos with it. Guideline Optimizer here. So you'll notice we're also going to throw in a handful of these spells that allows us to then tap down to activate to help us get some pseudo ramp. So Guideline Optimizer does this. Oaken Siren will also do this as well. So these cards pretty much going to be like our little mana dorks that can help us just tap down what we need to cast more spells. However, they all have one big excuse me, they also all have one big downside, and that's mostly because you can only tap the mana to cast artifact spells. So just be aware of that when you use these. We have some more counter spells such as Mana Leak here and Negate. So Negate is only for non-creature spells. Mana Leak can counter any spell. However, an opponent can pay 3 to just stop it. Search for Escanta, one of our legendary enchantments, allowing us to surveil. Once we have 7 or more cards in the yard, flip it into a land, and then we can use it to start digging 4 cards deep to pull out non-creature, non-land cards and put them into our hand to help us keep our hand full. Steel Swarm Operator does the same thing as the Oaken Siren and the Skylight Optimizer. However, you can tap it for double blue mana only if you're going to use it to activate abilities of artifact sources. The Reality Chip here is going to be another thing you can put on top of Urza, and if you do, if it's equipped, that means you can start digging out the top card of your library, looking at it, and then you can play lands and cast spells from the top of it. So this can help us, again, just keep everything going. Wild Rose Rebellion / Counterspell, proper counterspell itself, so of course it has to go into the deck. Disruption Protocol here allows us to counter a spell as long as we are willing to tap an artifact, or if we pay an additional for 3 mana. Arcane Signet, although we are going to be a only we're just a monocolor deck, we do need all the ramp we can, and it is an artifact, and it is a mana rock, so of course we have to throw it into this deck this time. Chrome Dome here is a robot ninja, giving all of our artifact creatures +1/+0. While we don't have too many actual hard-casted creatures that are going to be doing aggro damage, we can use this again for its other ability. By paying 5 mana, you can create copies of any other artifact you control, so this can help us again, even with something like, say, a Mana Dork, or some other kind of spell that allows us to create a lot more value if we have copies of them out. Ornithopter Paradise, a simple little thopter, just helps us tap for mana. Sapphire Medallion, a great for our deck because this can make all of our blue spells cost 1 less to cast, which is wonderful. Winter Moon here is one of our few oppressive artifacts that can also be very, again, nasty against certain opponents. Players can't untap more than 1 non-basic land during their untap steps. So say, like, for example, you see on the side here, maybe we have the Fountain Port or Inventor's Fair tapped. That means we have to choose. We can only do 1 to untap. That may sound like it's bad for all players, but hear us out here. We are a mono blue deck, so we do have a lot of islands that can help us get around this item here. And if nothing else, we can also just tap down our actual artifact mana rocks just to help us get around the Winter Moon. Mostly just to oppress, again, enemy players. In the 3-drop slot, we have Donatello Gadget Master. We played this card earlier from another separate artifact deck for the historic format, but of course in Urza here, he's great in the 99. If he can deal combat damage, we start creating tokens of other artifacts on the field. Hydroelectric Specimen is mostly kind of here as a redirect spell. It can either be a land in a pinch, or just use it to then redirect the target of an instant or sorcery back onto it. So say like maybe our Urza is about to get, I don't know, destroyed from maybe someone's like, I don't know, spot removal, like, I don't know, like a Fatal Push or something. We can then utilize Hydroelectric Specimen here to redirect it back to it and sacrifice it instead of Urza. Midnight Clock is another great artifact for our deck, allowing us to tap for blue mana, and then once you can put some hour counters on it, once you get that 12, you can shuffle this and everything else into your library and draw 7 cards to then refill your hand. So great for us in the game plan here. Moonlit Meditation, this is actually a really, really amazing card if you know which artifact to put it on. The first time you create 1 or more tokens this turn, you can create instead that many tokens that are copies of the enchanted permanent. So say like, for example, and this is actually going to card I might as well just talk about now. So Moonlit Meditation, attach it to, ideally, you want it on Simulacrum Synthesizer. So this card, as long as we are casting any artifacts with a mana value of 3 or greater, we start creating constructs. So if we can maybe say copy this with the Moonlit Medallion, we'll then get, I'm sorry, Moonlit Meditation. I don't know how I said medallion. Any case, once this is attached to the synthesizer, we basically going to say it's game over for our opponent because all those constructs will just start going off. We'll have a huge board with that to blow away our opponent. Circling back, of course, and I know some of you are going to hate it, but again, we are playing in a ranked serious mode here, so that's why we're going to throw in some of the cards that I usually don't like to play with. But Rhystic Study it's just a necessary evil. I'm pretty sure you all know how this card works. Anytime an opponent casts a spell, unless if they pay the 1, we can just draw another card. So basically, it just helps us with card draw. Sai Master Thopter is here, creates for us some Thopter tokens every time we cast an artifact spell, and then if we need to, we could sacrifice some of those artifacts to draw a card. Our deck doesn't look like it has that much card draw initially, but this can help us out with that, and with Urza and his ability, we mostly can just keep churning through our deck just the same. So it just, again, provides for us, again, great value in the 99. Salinity Visions can either be a tap land, or you can use it to dig 6 cards deep to pull out an instant or sorcery and put it into your hand. Force of Negation here, so of course, we are going to throw in some free spells here. Force of Negation allows us to then cast this and counter a non-creature spell for free if, however, we can exile some blue cards rather than pay the spell's mana cost. It is otherwise a 3-drop counter spell, which again is nothing exciting, but it can be very good whenever we need to at any point in the game. Harbinger of the Seas turns all non-basic lands into islands. So this actually can be sometimes very, very oppressive in certain matchups here. Again, the whole game plan is we're just trying to lock out our opponent while we get our stuff going off. While this may hurt us with some of our utility lands at various points of the game, by the time this comes out, we're hoping that we actually don't care about our utility lands. We can just pretty much just prevent our opponent from playing, well, play Magic, of course. Mirror Maid here is just going to be a simple enchantment that can allow us to copy an enchantment or an artifact of any kind on the field to help us get more value. Narset Parter of Veils here allows us to dig 4 cards deep with its abilities, then pull out a non-creature, non-land hand. But ideally, again, same thing. We just want to make sure we can lock out our opponent from playing the game, because with this out, your opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn. Sink into Stupor can also be a good tempo play for us, bouncing back a non-land permanent or a spell back to opponent's hand, or if nothing else, again, it could just be a land in a pinch. Cloud Key here cheapens all of our spells of the chosen type, which is of course going to be for our deck artifacts, for 1. Inspiring Sanctuary gives all of our non-artifact spells improvise. So for those that don't remember, improvise simply just means that you could tap down other artifacts to pay for generic mana costs for any spells. So that's great for our deck. Pantalor of Ornthak here from Lord of the Rings. Again, normally a card I don't like to play with, but of course in our deck, if we're playing a Ranked Brawl, we have to throw in, of course, some very powerful cards like this. At the beginning of your end step, put an influence counter on this artifact and then scry 2. Your opponent can then have us draw a card, but if they don't, we start milling cards. Once we start milling X amount of cards, they will start losing life equal to the total mana value of those cards. We actually do have some high mana value stuff near the top end here, which can make this card very, very nasty if their opponent does not have an answer for it. Speaking of other things that they need to answer, we also have, we'll throw in Tezzeret here, another one of the infamous planeswalkers that does mana, that utilizes artifacts a ton. So this version of Tezzeret, Cruel Captain, I love this version by the way, colorless, 4 loyalty, and you can then either play 0 to then give an artifact, or you can untap an artifact or creature. We have a lot of mana rocks, so that's actually good for us. If it's a creature, you start putting +1/+1 counters on it. Also, you could tick it down to then pull out an artifact with a mana value of 1 or less. So that's pretty much anything for the first slot here that we can utilize and bring it onto the field. Doesn't help us out too often, but the realistic reason we want Tezzeret, of course, is once we have enough artifacts out, we can then take him down with this -7 ability and start creating some more artifact creatures from robots based upon any one of our artifacts on the field. So that's going to be great for us to kind of provide for us a slow way to provide more value. In the 4-drop slot, we have Aetherize here, so a little bit more expensive than Cyclonic Rift, but it does help us out a little bit here. If an opponent is going wide and attacking us with a bunch of creatures, use this to bounce back all of those creatures to its owner's hand. So this can be a great way to slow down our opponent a ton. Phyrexian Metamorph here. So for 3 and Phyrexian blue mana, this Shapeshifter can then enter as a copy of an artifact or creature on the battlefield, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. So same thing, just like some of our other things like Mirror Maid here, uses again to copy things such as, again, that Simulacrum Synthesizer, your best target, by the way, to start getting a ton of extra value. Anchor to Reality here allows us to sacrifice an artifact or creature, digging out an equipment or vehicle card and put it onto the battlefield. We don't actually... Actually, wait, did I actually put in a vehicle that I'm going to need for this deck? Maybe actually, maybe I probably put in the wrong card here. There was actually another card here that I probably should put in instead of Anchor to Reality. Hold on. I actually realized there was actually one card I probably could cut instead of that. So, for this version here, because I realize now we're not actually playing with any actual vehicles there, we'll throw in Krang instead. So that's actually going to be more helpful for us. And I'll talk about that in a bit. So hold on 1 second. And I will address, of course, there are several cards that probably could make the cut for the deck, but we had to make sure we had to trim it down to the 100. Chris Antogo, hello, my fire friend, joining us here on the chat. How are you doing today, my fire friend? Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. I was trying to Urza, but was getting overrun by the quick matchups I kept facing. Oh, so you've already tried Urza and you were struggling? Ooh, hopefully that doesn't bode. Ooh, hopefully it doesn't bode bad for us. But either way, we're still going to give it a try. But maybe you should, I would like to see your deck list at some point. Maybe yours is very different than mine. But mine right now is just trying to go with big spells here, going to combo off, and hopefully just blowing away our opponents. But anyways, thank you again for the oversight, for the insight on that, I mean. So hopefully we'll see how it works for us. Any case, moving on here, where was he at? Okay, so we have the One Ring. So then, I'm pretty sure, again, you all know how this card works. It enters, if we cast it, we have protection from everything for a turn, so it can spare us at least a turn to survive, and we will start losing life for each bird encounter on the One Ring. Unfortunately, however, due to alchemy nerfs, we have to pay at least 1 mana and tapping it in order to actually start drawing cards. Be aware of that if you don't want to use a spell. Also, for this version of the deck, as I mentioned earlier, we do have ways of bouncing it back and forth. So if you do run into an issue where the One Ring is going to start kind of killing you, be aware of that when you play the card. Hedron Archive here allows us, again, just another mana rock to help us just fill out our game plan here, just helping us draw some cards, or just, again, just tapping for more generic. Jorah's Familiar here gives all of our historic spells cost 1 less to cast, so that's good for our deck. Karn the Great Creator here makes sure that our activated abilities of our opponent's artifacts cannot be activated. You take it up again to then turn one non-creature artifact into an artifact creature. We really can't really use the tick down ability for this, but that's not a big deal for us. Mostly we just want to provide this here as a way to oppress our opponent and prevent them from doing their thing. We have Unwinding Clock here, making sure we can untap all artifacts, or we can control at the beginning of our other player's untap steps, so that's good for us to make sure we can untap everything. And of course, we have to throw in Paradox Engine. This is actually going to be something that's also, again, a very nasty card. Once you start casting spells, we can untap all non-land permanents we control to then help us retap. Hopefully I have a better luck. Well, hopefully, and thanks again for the good luck on that, Chris Ann. I hope, again, our version here, once we're done talking about this, will be better. I don't know, but we'll try. Honestly, I'm not really too much of a competitive player, but I'm going to give this a shot. I know somebody out there is going to look at our deck list and maybe say, maybe we might be missing some cards here. But again, we're just working with what we have. Flames of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. Ahoy, friend. Hello, my fire friend. How you doing today? Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. And thanks again for joining us. We're in the middle of explaining our deck, but we'll get into the gameplay in just a few moments. And then let's see. After Paradox Engine. Okay, so going into the final slot here, we have Chenmil, the Inner Sun. Spells we control can't be countered, so this is great against enemy blue decks out there. And at the beginning of your end step, we can start discovering 5. So that means by discovering, we exile cards from the top of our library until we cast a non-land card with a mana value of 5 or less, and we can cast it for free. So this, again, will start churning through our whole deck. We have the Immortal Sun, and this is mostly here to stop Planeswalkers' loyalty abilities. So this technically does shut off some of our Planeswalkers, but by this point in the game, once we have this down, mostly it's just helping us get a cheaper spell cost and giving all of our creatures +1/+1, and also we can draw more cards. Speaking of card draw, we threw in right now Krang, Mastermind here, because I realized this actually is better for our deck. He has affinity for artifacts, and it says when Krang enters, if we have fewer than 4 cards in hand, we draw cards equal to the difference. Krang will get an extra +1/+0 pump for each other artifact we control, so he becomes a big, scary Ooptron warrior once we start swinging around. Krang, Ooptron Warlord, so the other Krang, and we actually played with this one too, he's also just as good. So he's an Ooptron robot, 9/9, 9 mana, legendary artifact creature with flying, trample, indestructible, and haste. And he gives all of our other artifact creatures the same thing. So he can be very strong as a top-end finisher for our deck. And then finally, our kind of pseudo small wrath is going to be Portal to Phyrexia. When this artifact enters, each opponent has to sacrifice 3 creatures of their choice. At the beginning of your upkeep, we start putting creature cards from any graveyard onto the battlefield, and it becomes a Phyrexian in addition to its other types. So this again is another way to slow down your opponent, destroy their stuff, and start stealing their creatures, which we can take advantage of for our game plan. Flames here. It's Tom, and I'm tired. Oh, well, good to meet you then, Tom. If you want to go by Tom, I'm more than happy to do that. Affinity for Anime also popping in now. Hello, my fire friend. How you doing today? Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. And thanks again for joining us today. Okay, so moving on from here, finishing up right now the land base. Normally, again, for a budget deck, we usually just go with just straight up just basic islands. But again, we tried to muster up as many of the non-basics we could throw in that we can afford for a ranked battle. Because again, we're going to be serious on this one today. So we're going to throw an Agna Quell here, aka the Northern Air Temple, but not Northern Air Temple, what was it? The North Pole from Avatar. We could use this to help us draw some cards. Archway of Innovation here allows us to utilize Improvise, and it enters tapped unless we control an island. Hall of the Storm Giants here, it can be a giant if we just manage to tap 6 mana to make it a blue creature, and it has Ward 3, so good top end curve here. Otawara, again, for bouncing things back and forth with its channel ability. Rivendell, because we will always have a legendary creature with Urza and allowing us to scry 2 to make sure we can fix our draws. Seed of the Scion here, just a simple little artifact land. Again, ups our mana base here. Uthros Titan Godcore here, enters tapped. However, once we station it, we can start tapping it for a ton of blue mana for each artifact we control. We'll throw in Darksteel Citadel. It's an artifact land that's indestructible. Demolition Field for non-basic land hate. We also will throw in Volatile Vault that does the same thing. Fountain Port here, we can sacrifice a lot of the tokens that we'll be generating to do some more card draw, make some fish tokens, or make some treasures, whatever we need to. Since we are rocking almost all artifacts, we're going to throw in Adventure Sphere that can help us get some little incremental life gain. Mirex here can help us create some Phyrexian Mites, which have Toxic, but might, again, just helps us up the game plan with our artifact creatures. Reliquary Tower, we're going to be drawing a ton of cards at various points, so we want to make sure we have no maximum hand size. And finally, for flavor purposes, but also because it actually is good for our deck, Urza's Cave. It taps for generic, and we can sacrifice it later on to dig out any land we need to and put it onto the battlefield tapped. And that is the whole deck, everyone. Urza Unleashed. This is our serious deck. And it's been a while since we've actually done a serious deck for Ranked Brawl. Can this actually get us wins today and help us rank up in this new format that we're going to be building? Well, there's only one way to find out, so let's go ahead. Let's give it a shot today. Hopefully this should be a good one. Affinity for Anime. Ranked Brawl? Since when was there a ranked mode for Brawl? Am I just not paying good attention? Well, to be fair, Affinity for Anime, this only came up, I believe, in the last week or so. So I think the thought process is now Brawl is going to eventually split off. I mean, I'm sure you've all seen me play enough Brawl where I get steamrolled by a lot of stuff out there. So, if I was guessing, Wizards is going to start trying to generate now a new ranked version. So, for those of you that, I don't know, like competitive CDH, or if you just want to try a ranked version of this format, it definitely is very different from anything else we've seen out there. So, we'll give it a shot to see how well we can do. I mean, yeah, it's just an event for now, Chris N, but you know it eventually, if they get enough data on this, they will eventually build a ranked version of Brawl. It's going to happen, whether we like it or not. But that does lead me to an interesting question in the future. If they do ranked Brawl in the future, would all of you be interested in watching me just play, or should we start modifying our future decks for a ranked version? Because I will say, opponent already gave up? Okay. Yay? Okay. Alright, that's fine. So, my question is, in the future, if they start doing Ranked Brawl as a proper regular format, would you want me to all start rebuilding our decks to accommodate for that in the future? Let me know what you would like to see on that. If you want me to keep the Brawl decks mostly casual, I'm more than happy to do that. But again, we'll mostly be sticking to casual lobbies. So let me know in the future, guys, what you want to see with that. Oh, yeah, we are friends on Discord. Of course. Of course. It's been a little while since we've chatted, though. But again, hopefully you've been doing well. It's been a while, Tom. Let's see. Yeah, Northern Water Tribe. Yeah. I get my words jumbled up a lot, so thanks again for correcting me, everybody. Words are hard, by the way. It's till the 20th, do you believe? Okay. So that means we got on this what? Today's, what now? The 9th? So we got about over a week and some. All right, we'll play Mishra's Bauble. Tormod's Crypt. And we'll pass here. Our opponent is playing Bowhair. All right. I think they're also testing to see what a Ranked Brawl would look like if they decide to implement it. Yeah, pretty much. The only thing I would think some people would argue on is, should there be a ban list? Or should it be more like CEDH, i.e. competitive commander, and follow more of that, where it's like, there's not really much of a ban list, and it's mostly kind of just almost a free-for-all. I don't know. There is some talk back and forth. But I will say, Brawl is definitely different than an actual competitive commander. At least paper one. So I'm not sure how I feel if I would want one or the other. I don't know. It's still early to say. But for now, though, we will take advantage of Ristic Study. All right, opponents. Get our early damage in down to 23. All right. Okay, opponents. Do you pay the one? I don't want to be that person, but we're going to be saying that here. Ooh, they have Feed the Swarm already? Oh. Wow. Okay. Well. They actually have to Feed the Swarm in hand, and they destroyed it. All right, well, there goes our card draw. But it's okay, everyone. We can still make it work. Okay, so for now, I mean, all we can do now at this point is just start swinging. If we can get to one more, we can put Paradox Engine down. Okay, so opponent's going to start drawing cards and discarding cards. Affinity. Yeah, I would be happy if the sweaty people will go to Ranked Brawl, so my Jank Brawl commander decks actually have a chance. Yeah, I probably would agree with you on that one. So, okay. We're going to counter this. Okay, so at least we prevent our opponent from digging out anything specific they need. Okay, but we really do need more lands, though. Or at least our mana rocks. One or the other. Okay, opponent. I haven't actually taken the time to really look at the... Okay. Urza's not too bad. That can help us at least dig out some stuff. Okay, so this means this does prevent our opponent's vote here from going off, so that's actually nice. Okay, I guess we'll play just get the Disruptor Protocol, which is mostly counter spells. Okay, slow little pings here and there. So the good news is, at least with Narset out, it does prevent our opponent from drawing cards with their commander's ability. So hopefully this will work out here. Okay, they got the Watery Grave, that's fine. We really could use at least one more blue source. One more blue source and Urza can actually do stuff. Okay, opponent, what you gonna do? Affinity, there are definitely some alchemy cards that completely warp a game of Brawl. So those need to get fixed or banned. Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. Despite the fact that they have been trying to test this out, it still needs some work because there are also some alchemy cards I feel like they're missing out on. All right. One's got the Thoughtseize, so that means we're probably going to lose our Paradox Engine. Yep. No surprise there. It's okay, though. It's okay. Go ahead, opponent. Go ahead. Tap your creature. I dare you. Nope. Nothing? I'm pretty sure they already know, like, if they tap the creature, they can't... They're just going to lose cards. But they have a Wishclaw Talisman, so... Let's see. Will our opponent use the Wishclaw? Do they make a wish? Okay, they do make a wish. So... It is tempting for us to utilize it ourselves. But... I'm not going to give it back to our opponent here. We have other ways we can take advantage of stuff. Okay, nice. So for this... Tick down again. Wow, we whiffed. Well, okay. That's a little awkward, but that's okay. So for here, we do... This does mean that the Narset will die, which is kind of annoying, because I realize now, in order for us to get that Hedron Archive down, we had to tap down Oaken Siren. That's okay. We have our mana rocks, so once Urza comes out, we should be set to go there, and we can start spinning it with Urza to start hopefully getting some free value. Oh, Show and Tell. Oh, that's right. I forgot about Show and Tell. Maybe we should put that into our deck. No, I got the one with the Multiverse. All right, we're gonna concede. So I realize now there were probably a couple other cards that I probably should have put in. Because I totally forgot that we could do some really also dirty stuff such as Omniscience and stuff like that. But we can tweak this deck as we go. Don't feel like this is going to be the only version of it we're going to play. So I think that the way I'm going to do this, since we're not playing with a budget deck today, we're mostly going to try to see what we can do with the one we built. And we're going to do some small tweaks along the way, probably about halfway through the stream. So that's kind of like my idea of what I'm going to try to do here. We'll see if it works. All right, so Island. Play the Bauble. And pass. So our opponent right now is playing with Tally. Sylvan Tutor. Alright. Offer he can't refuse. So that does give him a little bit of ramp, but that's okay. Okay. We're going to see if we could try to... Goblin or Chaomancer. Alright, that's fine. No big deal yet. Okay. Psy. Psy's pretty good. Ornithopter of Paradise. So we have two ways of doing this. Urza can come out. We have the Volatile Vault too. We have options. Affinity. Wishclaw Talisman is a free extra mana source for Urza. It is, but we just couldn't take advantage of it from the last game. It's okay though. It's all good. We still got plenty of time to play around with this and see if we can make it work. Now, if anybody out there who's seeing my deck right now feels like maybe it's not the most optimized, I'm not gonna lie. Again, not the best when it comes to playing with a competitive Brawl deck. But if you guys have some ideas for what Urza should be rocking, let me know in the comments below, and I would love to hear from you. Otherwise, until then, all right. So We came here for Urza, everybody, so he's coming in now. Make our construct. Mox Amber coming in. Here we go. Sai. There we go. Nice. Okay, good turn. Managed to get our stuff to go off here, so that's great. Opponent is fumbling on mana, so that's actually in our favor. They have right now, so they can cast, what is it, a 4-drop? Okay. If they want to. And it looks like our opponent just failed to pop off there, so hey, win for us there. We'll take it. All right. A little bit of rank up. Not too bad. Not anything exciting, but hopefully we'll have a couple games where we can really go off with Urza here. Okay, so as we're loading up our next game here, question for everybody: how's all y'all been doing this week? Y'all have been having a good week so far? Anything fun, new, exciting happening? Have you been enjoying the spoilers from Strixhaven? Are y'all looking forward to the set? Honestly, my hype has definitely gone up even more. I mean, I was looking forward to Strixhaven, but man, this one has a lot of high-powered stuff, and I'm looking forward to utilizing the Prepare ability. Will that ability be breaking for the game? What do y'all think about the Prepare mechanic, or some of the other abilities that we're getting in the new set? Like, what was it, Paradigm? Literally, you cast a spell and it resolves. It's basically, you get free copies for the rest of the game. That's actually pretty strong, actually. I will say. I'm just playing with Azika, so that should not surprise me, but okay. Tormod script. And we pass here. Okay, opponents. Bring it on. Defense grid. Okay. Each spell costs 3 more to cast, except during its controller's turn. Okay. So our opponent's going to try to turn off our stuff here, but we can get around it. Oh, we have the annul there? Dang. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. We have the annul just 1 turn too short. That's okay. So all of our stuff is way more expensive. I realize now defense grid probably also would have been good for our deck. I need to keep notes of some of these cards that we've kind of been missing, and we'll try to start tweaking again our deck once we get around to the halfway point of the stream. Maybe we can make our deck even more nastier than it currently is. Okay. Opponent is going to Farseek out which color? I'm guessing that has to be black or red. What you going to get out, opponent? Okay. Jetmir's guarded. All right. That's an option. Mirex. So we got that. That's cute. Let's see here. Oh. Can't really flash that in anyway. Okay. Well, this is going to be a little goofy, but that's okay. All right. Nothing else, opponents? Okay, nothing. Okay. Oh, we got the Paradox Engine, so that's good. So we are slowly getting out our pieces here. You know what? We'll get Karn first. We will tick up. Turn Cryogen Relic into a creature. Down to 22. So with Karn out, we now lock out our opponent from utilizing any tap abilities with their artifacts. Okay, here comes the Prismatic Bridge. All right. So that is going to be something to worry about, but we'll try to get around it as best we can. So for now, Urza. All right, so he's in. We make our token. We have our Ether Eyes ready to go, but we cannot use that now. We'll have to wait it out for a bit. Tick up the Relic.
People lie. My machines don't.
All right. Actually, hold on. We'll wait. Okay, so they got out Kaya. That is a little scary. Oh, they got the Sunfaller. All right. Okay, well. So we lose our creatures, including Urza. That's okay. We can always recast them. That leaves the field. We get to draw a card off of that. Okay. And they exile Karn. So Karn's gone too. Shame. Okay. So let's see. How do we get out of this? Jora's familiar. Makes some things cheaper. Okay. Your opponent's now start getting free stuff. Huh. Is there a way to get out of this, or are we just dead?
Don't come any closer.
Affinity. I wonder what my best option would be for a Ranked Brawl deck from what I've gotten already built. Maybe I'll give Tifa a try? That's actually a good question, though, Affinity. Personally, I want to try Tifa for the hilarious meme of just smashing your way through, but I'm gonna wait personally until we get to Strixhaven. That one card that was revealed that allows you to get 4 lands off of sacrificing 2 lands, that's powerful, and I'm willing to wait until that comes out to give Tifa another shot. But what I'm not looking forward to right now is our opponent is just completely stopping us here from doing our thing. Okay. We're not looking too good right now. We're going to try for a little bit longer. This one, again, does not look good. Into the north. Okay. Opponent is trying to ramp out all their lands. Okay. All right. They take up. No value. Okay, Krang is not too bad normally, but we don't have any way to take advantage of him, so... Okay, Narset first. We activate. Taking up. Okay, Salinity Visions. Well, that is technically a land, so I guess we'll play it as is. Surveillance Cam. Pass. Okay, opponent is going to keep bringing out more Planeswalkers. Oh, they got Vorinclex. All right. Okay, I'm just going to concede this one. I don't see us winning this one because that Prismatic Vidge is going to keep getting more value, and we just do not have a way to stop it. Not with also a defense grade out. So, we'll let that go. Okay, it's okay, everyone. No problem. Just going to keep playing with our ranked version of Urza. We'll see. Maybe we can get some value here. We'll see if we can try to make this work. All right. Trying again here. I know we can get some good wins. We can get some good stuff here going here, everyone. Let's see. Can we make this work? Okay, so we got Psy. Got Karn here. Ooh, Unwinding Luck. That's pretty good, too. And the Portal Fire Exia. If we could cheat this in, or at least find a way to get this in with Urza out, we should be set to go. Playing with Anim Pakal, 1000th Moon. So they're going to be making a lot of gnomes. Let's see. So, while we're waiting for our opponent to get started here, question for everybody is, for those of you that have played Ranked Brawl, what are your thoughts overall? Do you like the idea of a Ranked Brawl list? Do you like the bans that they have for it? Should more stuff get banned? Should you have no bans? What are your thoughts overall on this for those of you who have played in this format? Let me know, and I would love to hear from you about what you would consider doing. So far, although our experience has been a little bit on the small side here, it hasn't been too bad. I mean, it's kind of what you expect from a ranked gameplay. So it's mostly, again, just everyone trying to play meta stuff. But at least there's variety so far. Okay, so let's see. Opponents. Okay. They mulliganed. That's fine. Okay. Sacred Foundry tapped. And that's it. Okay, cool. Get our island in. Pass the turn. Okay, so we got nothing really to play for a couple turns here. But that's okay. Our stuff will be building up very soon. But already I can see that there might be some tweaks I might want to make to this deck if I really want to go more serious. Some things I've already noticed here that I really want to kind of tweak will be things that maybe want help with better card draw, maybe better fixing. But if y'all have suggestions, let me know. Ooh, opponent, you there? Hello? Okay. Looks like they are there. Planes. Pro Mox. Okay. Wait. I thought Chromox was not allowed in Brawl. Or was I mistaken? I have to tweak some stuff around for this. We'll worry about that a little bit later on, but okay, Chromox. Okay, well, we'll see. In the meantime, opponent's down to 3 cards. They could cast Anim now if they want to. Because we're behind. What will you do, opponents? What will you do? Okay, they do cast it. All right, that's fine. So we got the negate. Well, there's nothing else we could really do for now. If they do have a non-creature spell, at least we're ready. So let's see. Can we get around this? I think the plan right now is turn 3, Sai comes out. Turn 4, we can start getting our artifacts going. Or at least with Urza out, we can start casting more stuff. There are options, but I guess it depends on how fast our opponent moves here. If they do run out of gas, then we can then catch up quick. Opponent right now otherwise has 3 cards in hand. No damage has been done yet. They're maybe there? I don't know. Opponent. Lou. 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 Opponents. You there? Maybe? Ugh. Yeah, Chromox was definitely banned in regular Brawl, so it should see an unbanned in Ranked Brawl. Okay. I guess it kind of messes with me because there's not really a separate list per se for the Ranked Brawl. It just showed me when I was building the deck what was banned, but it didn't take into consideration actual Ranked Brawl. So I feel like I kind of got myself mixed up there. Okay. Our opponent is sort of there, maybe. I don't know. All right. In any case, I guess while our opponent is somehow figuring out his game plan here, or maybe his life, another question I want to ask everyone is, so now that we have almost the entire set spoiled for Secrets of Strixhaven, what has been the standout card that you enjoy, or what did you like that was revealed so far? There's actually quite a few 3-drops that I'm looking forward to playing with in various decks, and we're definitely going to be reviving some strategies that I'm sure some of you might be completely over, but there are definitely some cards that I saw that I was thinking, oh man, we have to play with this card in this deck. So we're going to be doing that, of course, coming up soon. Oh, okay. Opponent's not there, I guess? Okay. Well, I guess we'll play Sai. I guess we'll just do that. But yeah, what is your standout card so far from the set? Now that we've gotten pretty much everything revealed, is there anything that you are liking so far? Anything you want to build a deck around? And what kind of deck are you looking at? Maybe like a standard deck, a brawl / commander deck? What speaks to you about the Strixhaven set coming out soon? Let me know in the comments below, everyone. I would love to hear from you. Well, the only thing right now we're still waiting on is our opponent here. Just some way, somehow. I don't know if they're delayed or maybe they're sidetracked. Maybe they got disconnected. Okay. I feel kind of bad because I would like to actually play a full game here, but if our opponent's not there, then they're not there. All right. Okay, well, I guess that's another free win for us, so... I mean, we're not really going to get much done today if it's just going to be this kind of play, but okay. It is what it is. Okay. So let me see if I can try to at least get one more legit game here. At least we're getting our dailies done, so nothing else. But after this one, I'm going to do some small tweaks to this version of the deck. There are some things that I've immediately thought of that maybe might be better for our deck and might not. And some things that might not be needed. We'll do some minor tweaks here and there to see what we can do to accomplish maybe something else with the deck. But otherwise, okay, so we got... Okay. It's not too bad. This definitely can hose Hayby if we keep that Harbinger of the Seas. That means we can't use our utility lands the way we would want to, but that might not matter. Okay. Birds of Paradise. Okay, that's cute. Ooh, we got the Ristic Study too, so we do have options here. Okay, so we got counter spells aplenty. That means we're expecting our opponent... Nope. Okay, so might as well do this now. While it does give them a creature to actually do damage with, turning off the Birds of Paradise into a skeleton here definitely helps us out. And here we go. Harbinger of the Seas. This can hose a 5-color deck instantly if they don't have an answer. They have the Marsh Flats, but Birds of Paradise is now nothing more than a regular creature. Opponent, you need to crack that Marsh Flats now or you get no value off of that. What did they get? And then after that, we have the Ristic Study coming in too, which is also just as nasty. Okay, So can we lock out our opponent right here from their deck? That is the question right now. Affinity. Secrets of Strixhaven seems to have a lot of busted stuff. Honestly, I feel a little overwhelmed by so many strong cards just focused in one. It is definitely going to be a much more high-powered set. And there you go, everyone. So we locked out Sparrow's headquarters. Is now just going to tap for blue mana. So we've kind of messed with our opponent's game plan here because any non-basics they have, that means they're going to get slowed down a ton. Oh. I have to go for the throat. Okay, well, once again, got ahead of myself there. Okay, it's fine, everyone. It's fine. No big deal. We still have many other ways of getting around our opponent. So until then, we'll play the Rhystic Study. Surely this time around we'll get some value off of it. Okay, so if our opponent plays Haybuy, we are ready with our Wash Away, so... Okay, Prismatic Vista. Okay, that's cute. Oh, I guess I got a little ahead of myself there with the Go for the Throat. I was honestly thinking they didn't have anything in a 5-color deck that would have stopped us. But apparently they did. Okay. Plains. Does Haybuy come in this turn? No, Kiyoshi's Plaza. Okay. But at least we get card draw for that. So... Oh, they actually did tap. Okay. Alright, well, that's fine. Opponent is going to try to fight against us with their Shrines. And I probably would say Shrines, if you know how to build it, actually is going to feel pretty tough to face. Sink into Stupor, okay. I guess this is probably the Urza turn. Our opponent thinks we're tapping out here. Because we are. But we do have at least this, so... Pay the 3. We will play the Arcane Signet. Alright, so, little by little we're building up our board state. We still have an Arcane Signet ready to go. So if our opponent thinks they're going to get cheeky with anything else, if we have the Wash Away, we're ready to go. Okay, Haybuy is coming in. So, opponent, do you pay the 1? Do they? Oh, they do. Okay, so, Wash Away now. Got that counterspell. Got him. Nice. Okay, so we kept that off the field for a little bit longer. Whew. Okay, so that means they're just going to do their tap shenanigans. This does give us now a turn to hopefully go off here. Okay. So that means Haybuy is away for a turn. But, let's see. Can we get some value here? Okay, Fear of Isolation. That doesn't really help us all that much here, so... You know what? Let's spin it to win it. Let's give it a shot. Come on, deck. Give me something good. That Demolition Field's not quite what we need, but okay. Can't do another one here. Alright. Okay, well. I guess we just start swinging with our one little construct here. Down to 20. Still an even race. Does our opponent play? Okay, they play Haybuy again. Do you pay the 1? They do. Okay, they're trying to make sure we don't get any value here. Got the Sanctum of All. Alright. So I think for this turn here, we might have to bounce back the Sink into Stupor from Fear of Isolation, force them to cast the Sanctum of All, and we can negate that. So I think that'll be our plan. Fear of Isolation, bounce back. Alright. We will bounce back the Sanctum of All. Okay. Phew. Okay. So that means for now, we live to prevent that from getting value. Affinity. Yeah, Shrines is one of the strongest of the 5-color commanders. Up there with Joda, Unifier, and Prismatic Bridge. Not gonna lie, it felt like it was only just a couple of years ago that Shrines were just literally just a meme. And now they've gotten like so much power now. Now they went from just meme status to just competitive powerhouse. It's actually kind of nasty. It's okay. Do you pay the 1, opponents? Do they? They really don't want us to cast cards, but we do have a negate, so... Okay. At least now we can keep that off the field. Phew. Okay, crisis averted. At least for now. Okay, opponent. No swings yet. Okay, we got the force negation. That's not too bad, but for now, we're here to spin it, everyone. So let's spin it to win it. Come on. We got an island. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. No attacks. So if we have to hardcast force negation, so be it. We just need to keep our opponent off balance a little bit longer. Once they run out of steam, and I don't know if we can get them to do it, but we'll try. So for now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So with Urza here. Flage. Okay. Do you pay the 1 again, opponents? Alright. Still can't do anything else there. Okay. This is a creature. What is he ping? Okay, so if he's going to ping that, might as well just sacrifice it to draw a card. Okay. At least we get something out of it. Oh, ooh, Krang. Krang is nice. Once we can get him on the field. Okay. So at least we have a big beatdown beater in just a moment here. Ooh, Time Warp. Okay. Ugh. That's nasty. Okay, so no blocks. Take the damage for now, down to 16. So our opponent managed to go off with at least 1 Time Warp. Oh yeah, Shrines only just became competitively viable as an offensive threat because of Heibai, Forest Guardian. Just keep blinking him in your set. Yeah. Thankfully, our opponent has not been blinking him just yet. I am well aware that Heibai is absolutely bananas if you really know how to play with him. We did play with him a couple months ago at the end of the Avatar run, and I will say, that was a fun deck. Even on a budget, Heibai can do absolutely dirty things. Okay. Opponents? Hoden. Okay, so they're going to start trying to get card draw going. They do keep paying the 1. Well, opponents really do not want you to get cards once the Ristic Study comes out. But let's see. I'm hoping we can get there with what we have. Oh, Pantalar, okay. Well, that's not too bad either. Alright, so. Palantir coming in. We will spin it to win it. A midnight clock. Okay, well, that's not too bad, I guess. Get it for free, at least. Okay, so here, station. Station. Okay, so. Scry. Okay, opponents, do you let us get a card? Ooh, they took the damage there. Oh, Moonlit Meditation. No! That would have been a good hit. Dang. That's a shame. They got mulled, but they did take 3. Okay. For now, we have everything we need for the next turn or so, so I'm hoping that maybe we can get there what we got. Okay, Flage coming back. Do they pay the 1? They do. Wow, we've got opponents there. They're definitely going to keep paying the tax. So let's see. What do they hit? Most likely it's going to be, yep, Fear of Isolation. No surprise there. Okay, as long as they don't have a way to swing with that, we have time. Okay, opponent's got an Arid Mesa. Swinging. All right, Heibai coming in. Birds of Paradise also swinging. Down to 7. Okay. Mirror Maid. Ooh, okay. Well, that's kind of nice. Let's see, though. Is there anything we really realistically need with that? I mean, I think for now we can just get Krang in, and I think we should be good to should be good to go from there. So I think I'll keep the Force Negation with the Mirror Maid. That's probably our best bet right now. He doesn't have... Oh, these. Okay. I want to swing with Krang, but I realize also he doesn't have anything that protects on the backswing, so we're probably just going to have to wait it out for a bit. Okay. No attacks. We need constructs. Like, we need an army of constructs and actually to make Krang a threat. But for now, can our legendary artifact here helps us speed the plan up. Okay. All right. Put that on top. Okay. Make our opponent take the mill damage. They go to 15. Okay, they go to 14. Okay, we can put more counters on Midnight Clock if we need to, but I'm going to wait for a bit here. If they do another Shrine, we have a Force Negation ready to go. And if we need to, we can sacrifice that Mirror Maid. Not ideal, but if that's what has to be done, just to at least survive, so be it. Ooh, Solitude. Okay. Do you pay opponents? They can pay with the Avacyn Pilgrim, if they want to. Okay. So, dang it, that's unfortunately a... Oh. No, it's actually a creature, so we actually cannot counter that. So, that's kind of awkward. I think... Okay, we can't really do anything else with him. No, we can't. No, we can't even do that. Okay. We actually get a little bit of life from that. We'll move Urza back. So Hodin does more card draw shenanigans. Okay, Solitude. Opponent, what else we got? Big swing here. Oh, that's game. Okay. Dang. We're not doing too hot with this deck. I was hoping we were going to get a little bit more seriousness with it, but it looks like we're not quite getting there. Okay. I think it's time to shift gears just a little bit here. So let's kind of tweak this a smidge. Urza right now kind of has an idea going on here, but we need to kind of tweak him just a little bit more. So there's two ways I want to look at maybe redoing this. Is maybe, I don't know, maybe more artifact creatures that tap for mana. Maybe more mana rocks so we could speed it up with Urza to get him out faster. I mean, it feels like we have the right pieces, but at the same time, maybe, I don't know, maybe we don't. So let's give this a shot here. We're going to tweak the 1, 2, and 3 drop slot with artifacts. Okay, so let's see here. What do we want that can help us out? So, I don't know, cargo ship? And taps for that. I'm just trying to look at what we can use to actually help with our game plan here. Let's see. Automated Artificer? Or maybe no. Maybe instead of Automated Artificer, Cold Steel Heart? Guardian Idol? Can we make this? Well, but liquid metal coating does go well with the other part of the plan. Just trying to throw in a ton of artifacts that can actually help us speed up our plan. Because we were struggling quite a bit to actually do stuff. So I want to see if we can fix that completely with this next round here. Palladium Mirror, that actually is not too bad there. Just trying to get a lot of ramp going first, and then we will rebuild from there. And then, I don't know, Worn Power Stone? Okay, so from here... Oh, wait, can we not? Oh, we don't have enough rares for that. Okay, well, that's awkward. Cannot get the one artifact I want there. Okay, that's okay. No big deal. Or maybe we should look at some of the affinity stuff. So, hold on. We'll make this tweak here. Let's see. Oh, I totally forgot about Emery Lurker in the Lock, so that can help us out too. Do we want to just get in a lot of the bigger spells that we want to cast? Like, let's say Frogmite, Mirror Enforcer, Reality Heist, Thought Monitor for sure, Thought Cast, Memory Guardian, and Factory Aerial Unit. Okay. Well, those seem a little bit better for us, but now we got to tweak a bunch of things here, which we'll tweak around and see if we can do better. Now, if anybody out there does have suggestions or cuts, let me know what your thoughts are, everyone. The whole game plan right now kind of lingers on just trying to cut some things here that maybe are not helpful to us. So, I don't know, maybe Chameel doesn't help us as much as I want to. I want to use cards like this, but it feels like they're not doing too much for our plan. Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to try to filter it out just a little bit here to see. We want to keep the big stuff here because we want to get a payoff for some of our bigger things. I don't know. Tezzeret seems fun, but at the same time, Tezzeret doesn't really help us out here too much, so maybe I'll cut Tezzeret here. And then once we're done with this one, don't worry, everyone. I will have, of course, the actual final bit we'll see at the end. So what we start with is probably going to be different from what we end with. If that's... Let's see, hold on. Trying to look at what we can do here. Okay, still trying to look at what we can do. Karn's nice for turning off stuff. Jorah's familiar. I don't know. I would like to have things cheaper, but at the same time, we want to make sure we can move faster. Ancient Relic. I think we'll cut the Relic, because we want to just focus on the ramp itself. Diversion unit, not be too bad there. Piranhas. Fear still bounces things. Skylight. Ramp, counter, ramp encounters. Ramp encounters. Lots of those, everyone. Search for Escanta. Maybe we should just focus honestly on the artifact plan. So, search for Escanta. I don't know if that goes. Maybe we'll cut that. I'll keep the operator reality chip killed there. Arcane Signet. Chrome Dome can still be helpful. Guardian Idol. Liquid metal coating for the Karn, so provides a purpose there. Ornithopter Paradise. Sapphire Medallion. Winter Moon. Maybe that might not be as helpful. Maybe we've got to go a little faster than what Winter Moon can do. Or I don't know. We'll keep that for a second here. Let's see what else we can cut. The Enigma Jewel. We don't have too many artifacts that actually provide specific abilities, so maybe the Enigma Jewel is not needed. Okay. 8 more cards to cut. Keep Murata there. Keep the Dispel, the Brainstorm. Does Brainstorm actually help us out a little bit here? Or maybe we should just cut that instead. Let's see, Boomerang Basics. We can keep that for a bit longer. Null. Offer you can't refuse. Keep the Moxes. Oh, that's right. I forgot. We can actually use another one. Hold on. Whoop, whoop. So there we go. There we go. Chrome Mox is valid. Totally got to get that into the deck. Okay. So... Okay. Does Unwinding Clock help us out? Or is that too slow? So I think my focus right now is trying to trim down things that are slowing down the deck, because I want to try to see if we can speed up. The whole plan, of course, is to make sure we can speed up everything so we can just keep pushing through with everything. Cheap stuff, as efficient as possible, keeping the counter spells. We want to try to see what we can do here to get that value we're looking for. That's our game plan here. Emery, Ristic, keep that. Psy can be still good. Cloud Key, I don't know. Maybe Unwinding Cogs may be a little too slow for us. We'll cut that for a bit. Hedron Archive. Probably cut that as well. 6 more cards. And let's see. And just let's see. How many mana running? I know it's a lot more lower than normal, but considering how many rocks we have and how many other things we have, that's 35. That technically counts as 36, 37, 38. So 38 overall, not too bad, all things considered. Okay. And there are some cards here, let's see, that might help us out, but at the same time, maybe they don't. Like, the Fear of Isolation is not bad, but at the same time, like, does that really help us out as much as I think it does? So we'll trim down the stuff that may not help us out that much here. Okay. Still trying to look. And there are still also some other cards I'm trying to look at as well. Oh, I just realized there was one actually I do want to put in that we missed earlier. So that's going to be 3 steps ahead. So this can actually provide us a counter spell, or I also can copy a spell. So that can help us cut something else out instead. So for that, thinking. Sewer Valence Cam. We could still use that for tapping purposes. Offer you can't refuse. This is nice in some instances, but I don't know. Maybe we'll cut that. Okay. 5 more cards. Don't worry, everyone. We're almost done. We're almost done. Worn Power Stone gives us 2 there. Palladium Mirror. It's also a creature. Aspiring Sanctuaries for the Improvise. Let's see. Narset pulls out non-creature, non-lands, so we can dig with that. Harbinger of the Sea can be a fun card, but also, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't help us out too much with the plan. Maybe we'll cut that for now. Let's see. We're still trying to look here at what we want to make adjustments for. Ether Eyes, we'll keep. It's kind of like a backup Cyclonic Rift, so we'll keep that for now. The Immortal Sun. Feels like it actually does help us out a little bit more now that we got rid of most of our Planeswalkers. We want to keep all the big stuff up here just in case, because I want to provide for us at least some endgame value. So with that, Winter Moon can be fun, but at the same time it may not be. I don't know. 3 more cards. Almost there, everyone. We're going to try to chip down to the most essential of essentials. So let's see. Instead of maybe cargo ship, I don't know. That provides for us technically a vehicle, but we have to turn it on also to actually do stuff with it. There is another vehicle I want to try that might help us out a little bit more. So I think for that, I would say Smuggler's Copter. That actually might be a better thing for us there. Okay, and then, again, 3 more cards we got to cut. I guess it's probably going to have to be the lower end counter spells. So Divert Disaster is probably going to have to go. 2 more cards to cut. And then we will get back into this gameplay. Let's see. Do we want the Cold Steel Heart? Maybe not that much. Maybe we're overloading too much on Mana Rocks there. Arcane Signal, we'll keep that. Disruption Protocol, keep. And then 1 more card to cut. 1 more card to cut. Keep that. I think it probably might have to be one of our other weaker things here. Or maybe the Guardian Idol, maybe we don't need it that much. Ornithopter already comes in and it can tap for anything, so we don't need to do extra hoops to jump through. Liquid Metal Coating is fun, but it only works if Karn's doing stuff. On the other hand, we do have a lot of cheaper stuff here we can also use too, so I don't know. I don't know. Spell, 3 steps away, wash away. Flying Vigilance. Well, I think the last one might be in the 3-drop slots. Mirror Maid would be... well, no, we'll want to keep the Mirror Maid. I don't want to lose out on that. So I think it's probably going to be either Palladium Mirror or the Power Stone. Palladium Mirror provides for us a creature, but Power Stone enters tapped. Either way, you can't use these on the same turn. Okay. I think we'll take out the Power Stone. So this way, we'll work with this. Okay, so I think this should be better for us. Let's give this a shot. So for the remainder of the game, the last portion of this stream, we're going to try to see if with our small refinements here and there, maybe this will improve our deck overall. I'm hoping it will. I would like to see if we can actually get some more value out of our competitive version of Urza here. Ooh, Finn the Fangbearer. Ooh, okay. Okay, so let's give this a shot, everyone. Let's see. Can this version here of the deck actually do better than the previous one for the first half? Well, for what we see here, we do have 3 lands, which is great. We have the Rhystic Study, of course, Reality Chip, Memory Guardian, Celindy Visions. We don't have that much in the terms of artifacts right now, but we can generate a ton of them once we start getting the rest of this game plan going. Okay. Meanwhile, our opponent is playing Finn, so that is also kind of scary, because he is going to be going all in on Toxic. That might be a problem for us, but we'll see. We'll see if we can get around that. Phyresis Roach. Okay, when this creature deals combat damage to a player, insects you control, and insect cards gain toxic. Okay. Alright, so here come the alchemy shenanigans, everyone. We're gonna see if we can try to get around it, though. Alright, Flesh Burrow. Another island. So the archway. The reality ship is coming in. So unfortunately, thanks to the death touch here, we have to deal with that. I think our opponent here might be faster than us. I kind of just wish at least if they were going to set this up, just don't put in alchemy cards. That's where I feel like things get a little unfair. Alright, so... Oh, they got both gate death touch. Alright. Well, looks like our opponent's going to beat us here pretty quick. So 4, 6, 8. Yeah. Okay, now that's game. Even if I put down that eat my piranhas, our opponent already beat us down. Wow, that was really, really fast. That was actually kind of sad. I didn't get a chance to do anything that one. Man. Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to be mad or salty, everyone. It's okay. It's okay. Sometimes you just have those kinds of games. Okay, no big deal. We're going to shake that off. We're going to try again. I will say right now, I haven't mentioned it yet, but I'm going to see if we can try to come up with maybe one more ranked deck for tomorrow's stream. But we'll talk about that more near the end of today's stream, once we get there. So until then, let's see. Okay, we got the Darksteel Citadel, Mishra's Bauble. Okay. They're playing with Uro, which was originally a deck I conceived for Ranked Brawl, but I was kind of talked out of it. We'll see. We'll look at what else we can do in this format. But for now, okay. I got the Urza's Cave, Darksteel Citadel, Mishra's Bauble. Windswept Teeth, do you get Kraken now? Nope. And we'll pass there. Okay, they sacking it. So the good news is, at least with the next turn here, Emery comes in for literally 1 mana, which is nice. Okay, they surveil. Now, if our opponent, on the other hand, does have the mana next turn, we might have to hold on just a smidge here. Okay, so we got the island. That's good. Emery, I want in now, but we're going to wait a turn. We're assuming our opponent has the mana. All right, so they got the Brainstorm. Okay, they draw 3. They put 2 cards back. Maybe. Okay, they put 2 cards back, but they don't have a way to crack any fetches, so whatever they have on top, they're stuck with for the next couple turns. Oh, they Thought Scout. That's what they have. All right. So they mill off 2 cards. Draw a new card. All right, opponents. So here comes Uro. Oh, no Uro. Okay. Okay, more alchemy cards. So this one, I hate this card a lot. So it of course enters tapped by default. If it is still tapped, they can bring back a creature card from their graveyard to the battlefield or land card for free. Okay, so they get back fetch land. And they start getting pumped up, which is kind of dumb, but it is what it is. Okay, well, we got the Rhystic Study again. The first Emery coming in. So we're going to try to take advantage of this. We're going to do some milling. We could use Emery to start bringing back artifact cards back to our hand, which is not bad. Okay, so we mill 4. Ooh, okay. Decent hits. We get the Chrome Dome, Inspiring Sanctuary, whatever we need to. Not too shabby. Another cute little combo you can do with Emery here is you could sacrifice a Mishra's Bauble. Once you can untap her, then tap her to then bring back the Bauble and just start doing that to get free card draw. It's a cute little combo. Okay. Does our opponent start swinging? They do. Unfortunately, we do not block. Down to 21. Okay, they tap again, so that means they get more free stuff. Remind me again why such things like this in alchemy are allowed. Why is this okay? They sack it again. Get more free lands. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, Breeding Pool. And the Forest. Here comes the Uro. Thankfully, though, we counterspell them, so too bad, opponents. That does go away for now. So that forces them now to pay more mana for it. If they need to. Okay. Oh, opponent. Maybe. Looking at our... Okay, Courser Crucifix. Alright. Memory Guardian. So let's see. Fountain Port. Play Urza. Make a token. Memory Guardian. Tap, tap. We will bring back... What do we bring back here? I guess the Inspiring Sanctuary. Oh, wait. We can't play it yet. Okay. Okay, so the plan now looks like if we can get back Inspiring Sanctuary, we can improvise, which means things like Ristic Study can come in and do a lot more value. Here comes Uro once again. All right. They draw their card. It's the Badger Mole. Joy. Okay. They sacrifice the Polluted Delta. Simic doing Simic things. No surprise to anybody. Okay. Swing it again. Of course not. No surprise there. We have to take the damage. We can't block for now. And even if we did, we're still giving them what they want. So they're still getting their free stuff. Okay. Unable to screen. Oh, come on, opponents. Ah! Okay. So they turned off Urza for now, which is annoying. Not the worst. We have still other ways around things here. Inspiring Sanctuary. Okay. So from here, we'll play the Sanctuary. Okay. They're stacking the Delta again. Okay. Opponent. Alright. Crucifix still gains some life. Anything else, opponents? They sort of have a counter spell right now. Don't do it, opponents. Don't you dare. Okay. Ah! Okay. Guidelight Optimizer, because I'm just going to try to do what we can to get around stuff here. Push him to 23. So at least our construct will get bigger naturally. I guess that's something, right? Crucifix still doing Crucifix things. They have a Brazen Borrower also. So are they bouncing anything back? They can bounce away our token, which they're just going to do right now. Okay. Okay. Does our opponent swing? They do. They do a big swing. So, for this one, we're just going to have to let Urza die, unfortunately. Yay, more land shenanigans. So that's 14 damage coming to us. Okay. Block here. And we'll just go from there. We only know one other card they have in hand. Down to 8. Back to the command zone. Right back there, so... Ugh, what an annoying loop. It's just so slow and just killing me here. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're not mad. I'm not gonna be mad. This is exactly what Simic does, most everybody. Lands, ramp, sometimes some life gain here and there. Okay. Are we done? Nope. More lands. Anything else, opponents? Okay. Are we done? Yes. Memory Deluge. Okay. Still digging for more cards. Yeah, I'm literally just going to go... I'm just like bored right now. Just let the tumbleweeds just go by. I still Explorer because why not? Sure. Sure. Why not? More land shenanigans. Okay. Are we still done? Oh, thank goodness. Okay. I would like to do my turn today, everyone. At least that's just how I see it. Okay. So, Simulacrum Synthesizer. Opponents? Wow. They actually... You know what? Ah! No! That was our one card to help us get back into this fight. Okay. Okay, try again. Scry 2. Okay. Sink into Stupor. Okay. Alright. Is there anything we can really get? Okay, so hold on one second. Cancel the bauble here. We will draw that card at least. Okay, Prismatic Vista. We get back the bauble. For free at least. Okay. No attacks. But I'm just going to cancel there. Because I realize now, wait. Oh, they have enough to kill us there. Maybe I'm not meant for competitive anything. I don't know. I'm trying, everyone. I really am trying. Just, I don't know. Maybe I should probably look at a couple more lists, but it's kind of clunky because there's not that many good resources out there for those of you that like to build stuff for, I guess now, competitive Brawl. Because everything's designed for competitive Commander, but you're missing like a good 70% of cards that are not in Arena. So something to think about. But until then, we will play Mox Amber and pass here. Chrome Mox may be helpful in the next turn or so. Okay, Narset. So from here, oh come on. Okay, we'll play the Chrome Mox, I guess, and we'll eaten by Piranhas. Okay. So from here, okay, Simulacrum Synthesizer. Okay, got the Wash Away, got the Ether Eyes. Put back the Ether Eyes for now. We need that. We need to get that Wash Away out ASAP. Okay. Okay, I think this one feels like a better game for us. So for here, we will Narset. Okay, opponents. Okay.
There are so many mysteries to uncover.
Take down. Ooh, they pulled us. Okay.
You are a mighty
Well.
boy. Keep an open mind.
Okay, we fizzled. That sucks. Okay, it's okay, everyone. It's okay. They wasted that on something insignificant, so I guess it's better than nothing. Okay. Steel Swarm Operator. Now we really could actually use at least one more land here. So do they get out Koth? They do. But we can wash him away, so denied, opponents. Denied. Too bad. Okay, Port of the Phyrexia. Not quite yet. But Guardian Knight at least helps out a little bit here. Down to 24. Okay, so we got 1, 2 technically. 3, 4. Okay, oh nice. Okay, so we finally can get down Urza here. That's good. Makes our construct. There we go. Spin it to win it. Okay. Ooh, Phyrexia Metamorph. Yes, I would like that. Okay, now we're in business. Now we finally get to see the deck really shine. This is what you want the deck to do. Okay, much better. Whew. Jeez. Talk about making our deck work for it here. Even though our opponent can still rally back, because red does deal with artifacts, we now have at least copies, which thankfully should be enough for us to stop our opponents. At least I hope so. Okay, Triplicate Titan. Okay. This creature dies. What's this do again? Guess this is for that much. They leave behind some stuff. Okay. Well, the good news is we can deal with that. Too bad, opponent. We still have an answer to that. There we go. Destroyed. Lose all your tokens. Much better. Okay. Okay. We're now feeling it. Boom. Boom. Down to 2. Okay, opponent. You have 1 turn now to stop us. And you have no answers for us, so we take that one. Finally, a good, legitimate win. Yeah, we'll take that one. I'll take it. I'll take it. All right, all right. Whew. Okay. Well, finally, we actually feel like we actually got one real win. Not like a pity win where opponents just, you know, disconnect. So I'll take it. A win there feels much better. Okay. Well, that lifted my spirits quite a bit. Okay, so at least we can prove the deck does do stuff. But of course, this does now lead me to thoughts that I want to give once we're done with today. But this also inspires me to figure out something we can do tomorrow morning for our next live stream. So, if you still are enjoying the content despite me losing and looking absolutely terrible at playing Magic, if you're still enjoying what we're doing, show some love and be sure to like, follow, and subscribe wherever you watch the content so you don't miss out on any of the gameplay, booster pack openings, live streams, deck techs, and so much more. Okay, but until then, we'll keep this for now, because we got the synthesizer in hand. We just need to find a way to get to that quick. The opponent is playing with Cure here. Okay, so big civic creatures, I'm guessing? Because when this comes down, they'll start drawing cards like a ton. Let's see if we can get around that, though. So we'll cast Sewer Valence Camp for no real value. I'm just trying to get that down just to up our thing for Thought Monitor. Alright. Chrome Dome coming in as well. Okay, we can get down a 3rd land. Not quite a 3rd land, but okay. Guess it's something. Cyclonic Rift here for a smaller value might be better. But we'll see. Does our opponent have removal? Garrett's Harbinger, okay. Okay, good. We did get our land. That's good. Okay, that was a huge turn for us there. Synthesizer. Scry 2. Okay, now we're finally getting what we need. No attacks yet. So once that Palladium Mirror comes down, we should now be cooking after that. Badger Molt Up. Okay, opponent's getting their ramp going too. No surprise. Okay, here comes Kiora. She's coming down. She untapping, I'm guessing. There's the island. Swing in there. No blocks. Ouch. You can dig out a creature card or a planeswalker. Okay. Oh, Defiler Vigor. Okay, I hate that card. But we do have ways of getting around stuff. So we're not done. We're still going to try to fight just a little bit more here. I know we can do it. Okay, we make our first token. That's good. No attacks. So at least we have a construct to stop things for now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 7 mana to use Cyclonic Rift. So we need like 1 more turn. The Party Tree, aka the Great Henge. Actually, I do prefer the Party Tree. That actually sounds more fun. Finish for now. Alright, I've decided to give Tifa a go in Ranked Brawl, and I can confirm she's good. Already playing better than Platinum Share than I do in my standard deck. Well, that's good to know. That does give me hope, at least. That's cool. Okay, so for now, Urza. We need to get our ramp going. Quick. Oh, they got the memory lapse. Back to the command zone. Okay. Well, frustrating, but not the worst. Swing here. Taking out Kiora. Ooh, they block with the Badger Bull Cub. Okay, that's a choice, opponents. So at least the Cub is down. So that does soften them up for their mana base. At least for now. Block here. I mean, if that's going to be non-usable, we might as well just use it for something else. Okay.
Ripples and grows.
Party Tree. Doing things. Maybe. Did they have the Defile of Vigor coming in? Something. Spinner of Souls. Okay. Those are on their cards. Joy. Mistrise Village. Okay, Island. So from here... Oh, I can't do it just yet. Thought Monitor instead. Opponents. Let's see, hold on. This creature is interrupt the one target spell. Wait, okay. Alright. Draw more cards. Okay. Jeez, opponent's just like completely throwing off my game here. Okay. Opponent's swinging, and swinging, and swinging. I guess we'll have to do it here. Harbinger, blocking? Maybe? Okay, Michelangelo. Okay, opponent thinks they're cheeky. Cyclonic Rift. Do you have an answer, opponents? Okay. Galleon? Okay. Ah! I hate Simic so much. Oh, no, 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 no. Ugh. I honestly just was... I couldn't stand it anymore. I was gonna just vomit. Ugh. It's okay. Please excuse me from being super cranky here. Okay. It's okay. It's okay, everyone. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. Got to keep this going for a little bit longer, everyone. I just want to make sure we can get a full evaluation of this once we're done. I do want to like Urza, but maybe... I don't know if we played this wrong. But this will be something I want to talk about once we're done with the stream. Probably in the next, like... Just FYI, everyone. Maybe in the next, like, 15 minutes or so. It's probably when we're going to be ending this. But... From what I've seen so far with it, I want to like Urza. But I don't know if it's because we're missing key cards that really make him absolutely broken. At least here in Brawl versus Commander. Or maybe we just built him wrong. I don't know. Let me know what you all thought, everybody. Okay, ooh, Force Negation. Do we force this now? And then we will throw away Surveillance Cam. Okay. No more shenanigans, opponents. Not dealing with that right now. Mox Amber, okay. Krang, well, that's not too bad. We'll play the Seat. Tormod's Crypt. Mox Opal. Alright. Not too bad. Alright. Phyrexian Metamorph, okay. Can't do anything yet because that was tapped. That's okay. So we got 1, 2, 3 open. Cyclonic Rift, so I guess that's good for later. Let's see. We're going to do something clunky here. Make it another Seed of the Synod. That does seem very wasteful, but we're going to do that just to make sure we get what we need. Okay. Diversion Unit. Okay, well, that's not too bad either. Urza. Coming in. Nice. We make our token. We will play the Diversion Unit. Okay. Wait, can he self-sacrifice himself for the ability with Urza? Wait, can he do that? Okay, well, I guess we'll never know because our opponent gave up before we can actually get to do anything, but hey, okay. I'll take that still. I guess I'll take it. Okay. Still trying to see if we can get a little bit more out of Urza. Okay, getting our wins going. That's good. Get a free Lord Skitter's Blessing. But okay. So far, I don't know. I don't know if I built this wrong. Maybe I'm not as good as I'd like to think I am when it comes to putting together competitive decks. But so far, I mean, we're trying with what we have. Affinity. Now you're good. It's just fine to be frustrated. It's not fine to be toxic salty, and that's not your vibe. I appreciate that. I mean, when I was younger, I probably used to be a more toxic individual, but I've kind of learned to, as I've gotten older, to kind of just mellow out. Yes, you're right. I do have my frustrations, but I have to remind myself that, you know, variance comes with a game like Magic. Having said that, also, we can't let the other TCGs use me as an example as to why, I don't know, where the way we do things for this game are not as good. But honestly, I do have fun with it, even through the frustration. It does at least inspire me to kind of keep looking at what I can do to improve. If nothing else, that's what I try to look at with this in a positive light, is just trying to still find ways we can just get around things. And we have at least gotten a couple of legit wins today, so it's not like it's just been loss after loss. And we've had some streams where I have lost every single game. Honestly, those ones are not very fun, but we still power through them just the same. Okay, Urza coming in. Take her first token. Alright, so what we need now is a way to start generating value here. Sithis is a scary card, but it is beatable. Okay, ooh, got the Mana Lake, that's good. So for now, Paradox Engine. Alright. No attack still. But with Paradox Engine out, now that means we do have a way of kind of generating more mana once we can start getting stuff going here. Pellet Retreat, alright. They start drawing their cards. Okay. Opponents. A Johnny's welcome. Oh, okay. So is it going to be a creature-themed enchantment deck? Interesting. Usually when you think Sithis, you just go straight up enchantments until you can just find a way to lock out your opponent. But okay. No attacks yet, of course. Steel Storm Operator. So let's see. How do we want to do this here? I guess Arcane Signet. Okay, we'll go whole. We'll tap. So tap for blue. Okay. There we go. Get that value going. All right. Tap the blue. So this is now how we can start generating value for ourselves here. Spin it to win it. There we go. Oh, we didn't only got a land. Okay, well, that kind of pooped out on us, but okay. It's fine. We can still make it work. There we go. We're still growing. Okay. Let's try again. Spin it to win it. Come on, deck. Okay, diversion units. Okay. Well, there we go. Now, this is now we can start seeing the deck combo off. Okay. Now we're starting to do it. Okay. So from here, same thing. Generate that mana. Keep going. Okay. Now we're really cooking here. Got the Rivendell. Okay, so we kind of fizzled there, but that's okay. We still got at least some value off of the deck. Down to 23. Okay. Affinity. I complained about Magic and get frustrated by a bunch of things, but I've been playing since Ice Age. Oh, wow. You've definitely been playing for quite a while there. Ice Age? Oh, jeez. How long ago was that now? It's been several years. So my problems aren't bad enough to make me quit. Well, I appreciate that. I mean, we've all had those moments where, you know, like, we got to still kind of hang in there. Well, yeah, kudos to you. But wow, Ice Age. How long ago was that now? Gosh, we're so old at this point. Even so, as I'm aging, I'm still enjoying the game. But I will definitely say, though, just when I kind of think I'm done with this game, there's always something that pops up that makes me want to just keep playing. Some new strategy, sometimes reviving old strategies that I've grown to love. And that's, I will say, also one of the fun things about this. Just when you think things get old, things get new again. It's always fun. Okay. Opponent is trying now to also go off, so I'll give him that. Our card right now doesn't look like it's going to do much of anything, so we'll see if we can try to find a way around this. We do have the One Ring as a backup for us. So, let's see. Okay, we got a Moxable. So, let's see here. Tap all of our stuff. Tap all that. Get the free. Okay, there we go. So then from here, tap again. Oh, wait, hold on. Tap there. Tap there. Okay. Got the one ring going. Nice. There we go. Get the protection. Activate the ability. Draw another card. Okay, got Inspiring Sanctuary. Okay. Little by little, we're going to try to see if we can go off here. Inspiring Sanctuary. Untap. And you kind of see this Paradox Engine's actually busted once you started getting it going. Okay. now I think we might be able to go semi-infinite here. As long as we could just keep going. Okay, do some milling. Okay, we milled a bunch of lands, which was good, so now we at least got those out of the way. Let's see. Oh. This is also the only other tricky part is, as we start comboing off here, we will run into... Arena's going to try to stop us here from doing stuff. But okay, we're going to try. Okay, hold on. Ornithopter. Okay. Spin it to win it. Memory Guardian, okay. Arena, don't fizzle us now. We're just trying to do everything we can to go off here. There we go. The Portal Fire Exia, that'll help us out a ton. So let's see. Okay. Force our opponent to sacrifice some stuff. Ice Age was 95? Woo! That was a long time ago. But okay. Before I address that. Okay, opponent. You have to sacrifice 3 creatures. There we go. Okay. Eaten by piranhas. Hold on. I want to see if we can try to keep this going just a little bit longer. Okay, there we go. So then Portal Fire Exia also is thankfully a... Not a thing. Okay. We got to finish this up quick. So... Blue. We want... I forgot. I just saw it right now. Shoot. Where is my... Memory Guardian? Alright. 3 steps ahead. Portal Fire Exia. Pretty much we'll just kind of have to cut it here because our opponent right now is going to... It's also because Arena's not going to let this continually go off. Okay. Now it's on our opponents. Okay, so Sithis, finally. Okay, opponent, you love enchantments, so you get an enchantment of your own. Okay, big swing here. Whew, okay. And we still have the protection from... Down to 14, okay. Oh, if this was a regular paper game, I think we could have easily gone off here a ton just because of what this deck is trying to do. Okay, we got the Ristic Study, which is nice. So let's see here. Moonlit Meditation. Paradox Engine. We then Ristic Study. So at this point, I realize we're out of time on our stuff here, so we're just going to slowly force our opponent to get some value here. Boomerang Basics. So we don't also kill ourselves. We'll just bounce back the One Ring. Okay, got a Frogmite. That's cute. Okay. Still trying to see if we can get this to go off here. Alright. Palladium Mirror. Okay. Bounce the Phyrexia, you say? Oh, that's right. We totally should. Okay, hold on. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to make sure I don't fumble my combo here. Okay. And then... Wait, where's our... Wait, where is it? Where is it? Maybe I could... Hold on. You can copy the Phyrexia. There we go. That works too, right? Right? Okay. And we'll just pass there. We lose that copy, but that's okay. Okay, we got to discard 6 cards now. So let's see. Siren. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh dear. Sorry guys. I kind of, hopefully I didn't fumble too much there just because I was trying to combo off as much as I can, but you kind of can see one of the frustrating things about Arena is they put, once the clock ticks you like that, then you're kind of pressured to kind of quickly finish up. So it just feels like I didn't really get a chance to do my thing, but okay. Oh, well there you go. Opponent. Okay, well, I guess we'll have to do it there, everyone. So, yay! I'll take that one. I'll take that one. Okay. Chris Ann, I appreciate you trying to pop in for that one there for that, but I guess we didn't need to because we still got the win just the same. But this also, the deck, as you can see, is capable of pulling off a near infinite combo. It just, I kind of wish sometimes Arena would let me finish the combo because we actually could have kept going further than that just to completely destroy our opponent. But I felt like I was starting to sweat here just because, oh man, I just didn't want us to lose the turn and everything else just because Arena is being Arena. But any case, you get the good idea, at least there, everyone. That was a good way of showing how the deck is capable of going super crazy once you start getting everything to chain together. Comboing off your Portal Phyrexias, getting to make sure that you can just keep tapping stuff and untapping stuff with Paradox Engine, that literally is going to be your key piece to victory. Okay. Oh, I realize now, looking at the clock, we're actually going to have to wrap this up here now, everyone. So sorry for the sudden ending of the stream, but we'll, of course, do our normal thing first. So, as I mentioned earlier, Urza Unleashed. What do you think of the deck overall, everyone? Would you play this deck in any way, shape, or form? So, Urza, obviously himself, is extremely powerful if you know how to use him. You at least got to see in the final game we just finished up right there how Urza is very capable of going off if you know how to kind of adjust. The only tricky part, at least in Arena, and this is actually not a problem in Paper. In Paper, I mean, I was able to pretty much, like, if I put this together in actual Paper, in an actual, like, serious match, you definitely can just keep the combo going, which is great. But it just kind of sucked that I wanted to keep going just to see how ridiculous we can go. Unfortunately, Arena forces you to kind of just go, okay, wrap it up. And then you feel like I'm sweating right now because I was just like, oh, man. No, Arena, let me finish up my combo. I'm not done yet. I can go infinite. Or at least we were pretty much going near infinite there at that point. But you can definitely see the power of Paradox Engine with Urza making a bunch of artifacts. And we were able to get out maybe like, I think Psy would have been the third piece we needed. With Psy out and then casting some more artifacts that would generate more artifacts, which could then be used for mana, which we could tap. Then Paradox Engine would then be able to untap them. And you basically get the idea. You then pretty much can just play your whole deck out. Now, having said that, there are definitely some other cards that you can consider for this style of deck, but it kind of means that you're going to have to tweak the deck a lot more to make sure that can work out. So you saw early on, there are some non-artifact cards to consider. So stuff like, what was it? So I thought about Omniscience, and I've also thought about spells that allow you to get more time. So things that would help you out, or things to consider, would be like things such as Time Warp and whatnot. But then also that means you have to kind of tweak your deck a lot more to accommodate for such spells. There are some versions of Urza that I've seen that do try to chain off extra spells, and then some things with and then utilizing other things, as I mentioned earlier, such as that Paradox Engine. If you can just combo like that, the deck is ridiculous, and pretty much you kind of just, you end up playing Solitaire, and most likely your opponent's going to be too salty to let you go off. So things like that. However, you're going to have to tweak the deck a little bit more to make room for such extra turn spells and things like that. It is possible to do it with Urza, but you kind of have to warp your deck a lot more to kind of accommodate for that. Not to say you should, it's just another option to look at. Affinity for anime. Yeah, I once had my opponent dead on board with an infinite combo with Sephiroth, but my opponent refused to concede. Oh dear. So they kind of forced you to... So they forced you to keep the combo going. I know even in paper, some people will be like, okay, well, demonstrate your combo just to make sure you don't just claim you can go off infinitely. So I have to put a stop on my opponent's untap just to keep a combo going. That is great. But hey, I'm happy to hear that you were able to go off. Chris, I know that feeling. Been there. Yeah. I mean, this isn't the first time we've had a moment where we were comboing and we were having, like, we were just going super crazy. Unfortunately for Arena, kind of, you know, cut the fun short. Yeah, the wrap it up box, because I get it. There are some opponents that, like, we've been through that before ourselves where we were just like, okay, I'm kind of bored sitting here. Like that Simic deck we just lost to, like, a couple games ago. Yeah, I was just kind of like bored going like, okay, I get it. Wrap it up. I'm going to lose anyway. So I guess it was kind of nice that at least we got at least one shot to show off what the deck is capable of doing if Arena only let us completely go off. Affinity. Urza kind of needs Paradox Engine to work. He really does. And that's this at least the stream does prove that Paradox Engine, I mean obviously that's a powerful broken card as is, but Paradox Engine literally feels like it was made for Urza completely. These two cards go perfectly together like a ham sandwich and some, you know, all that other stuff together. It really just combos off so easily once you start getting the chain going. But the tricky part is, and this is also something that I myself also have trouble with, is admittingly, I'm not very good with combo decks. The moment I realized, oh wait, we can combo off, I realized quickly I had to figure out like how to make sure you keep sequencing your taps, making sure when the Paradox Engine trigger goes on the stack, making sure you have everything tapped out so you can get the most value out of it. Then again, get your spell to resolve, then retap, and then keep that going. It can be a little bit daunting for newer players. So I will say, while this wasn't a budget deck today, hopefully this can be at least a decent example of what to be aware of if you're going to do a combo deck. You have to really sequence things quick, and especially with how Arena works, you have to be fast if you want to make sure you can get everything going, or at least hope that your opponent will just say, I'm out, and they just concede. So just take that for what it is. The good news at least is we got to at least see how the deck can work when it does go off. But when it doesn't work, as you see, oh man, it's so rough. There's definitely a lot of decks, and at least now I've seen in ranked, that are very, very aggressive if we don't have those early turn counter spells or just ways of just stopping our opponent. But that also means that blue, this is also a problem with blue anyway. Not that I feel like blue needs to get that fixed, but just be aware when you're playing mono blue and you're playing with artifacts, you're going to have some clunky moves because you don't really have hard removal. You have some things you can use like Eaten by Piranhas, but these are only temporary stopgaps until you can get your whole combo off. So that goes for everybody out there watching. Just be aware that if you like Urza, very fun card, definitely combo potential aplenty, but you really just need to make sure you sequence everything correctly if you want to make sure you can get the most value out of him. Affinity. Urza kind of needs Paradox Engine work. If you can disrupt Paradox Engine, you basically hamper Urza. And that is something that I agree. You do need to make sure the engine survives. To be honest, most of our games today, when we got Paradox Engine to go off, I was surprised that it managed to survive the board. But that also means that many opponents out there are sometimes not ready for a all artifact assault. So be aware that this is definitely going to be one of those targets you need to protect as much as you can. I do know that while we didn't get Urza targeted that much by spot removal, he is in other ways can be a bigger threat if you're going to play like multiplayer with Urza. So be aware that if you want to take this into real Commander, you will definitely be a target. So fair warning for those that actually do like to play, or at least like what Urza's doing. Okay. Oh, the Chappelle Show. Yeah, with the wrap it up box. I totally get that reference. Good show. Good times, by the way. Let's see. Kristen, I like using Aetherflux Reservoir as one of my win cons. Also, use Grindstone and Painter Servant as an... Oh, that's right. Okay. So something I also will bring up now, since I'm glad you brought that there to my attention. Painter Servant is also another option for you guys. So for those that don't know, this card is also an incredibly busted, powerful card if you know how to wield it. So Painter Servant, if you want to throw this into the deck, another consideration. So this is a Scarecrow that's a 1/3. It doesn't look like much because it says as this creature enters, you choose a color. All cards that aren't on the battlefield, spells and permanents, are the chosen color in addition to their other colors. So take that how you will. By adjusting everything to a specific color, this can also hose a lot of decks if they're not ready for Painter Servant. There's technically some combos out there that take advantage of this. Again, not necessary for our Urza deck, but is definitely something you can consider if you really want to wield the power of this. But you do need to make sure you tweak your deck a bit to make sure you take advantage of Painter's Servant and what it can provide for your deck. With this, you can look at other cards such as maybe like the swords. So some of the swords allow you to get protection from certain colors, which means you can have some unblockable swings at your opponent. Stuff like that. Chris is also good there too with the Aetherflux Reservoir, so I'll bring that up real quick. So this was also another card that I didn't consider, but maybe for a future build, if you guys want this, this is also another good win con. Aetherflux Reservoir is another great card, 4 mana. So it's an artifact that reads, whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life. So that can be good for stabilization. And you gain 1 life for each spell you've cast that turn. So for example, you cast 1 spell, 1 life. You cast 2 spells, 2 life, and so on and so on. Then, if you manage to get to 50 life, pay 50 life with the reservoir and deal 50 damage to any target. That includes your opponent's face, which usually means it's an easy game over for them. So something I overlooked for this deck is another way you can make your victory known with this Aetherflux Reservoir. I mean, again, you can kind of tweak things how you want. If you want to go with artifact creatures with Urza, that's totally cool too. If you want to do vehicles, that's also a fun option too. There is also one other card that's is a personal favorite of mine. I didn't put it into this deck, but also can be a sneaky way you can get some wins with it. So the other card I thought about... Hold on. Where is it? Hold on, give me a second, everyone. We'll wrap this up in just a sec. Okay. Hold on. It should be here somewhere. That was a... There it is. I realize it's actually an uncommon. So this is another kind of silly thing you can do, although it is a much more jankier option. Virulent Silencer, which is a card I played with a while ago. This is a robot assassin that reads, whenever a non-token artifact creature you control deals combat damage to a player, that person gets 2 poison counters. So this can also be another kind of silly thing you can do. If you can get at least a couple poison counters on your opponent, you can then start using some of these other cards that provide poison, or again, take advantage of poison, and then you can then start doing that as another option for your deck here. But again, this is much more of a jank plan that I personally myself have done. It doesn't always work, but it's just a fun option if you want to try something also a little spicy out there. Okay, and Chris said, I came across a Brea deck on ladder. Cool artifact deck. Probably something you can look into. Well, I'm glad you actually brought that up. So actually, I'll kind of highlight this in a second, just before we end today's stream. Finity, yeah, I once had a dumb misplay against a Painter's Servant because I misread the card name Grindstone. I thought it was Millstone. I had artifact removal in hand, but accidentally tapped out. Oops. Oh, that's right. Grindstone, for those that are unaware, Grindstone is another thing you could do. So this goes with Painter's Servant. So for those that don't know, target player mills 2 cards. If the 2 cards that shared a color with it were milled this way, repeat the process. So in other words, this plus Painter's Servant, and you name whatever color, that means they're all the same color, and you literally can mill out your opponent in 1 2-card combo. So this is another way you can get a victory if you want to win con in a deck like Urza here. So you have options, everyone. That's pretty much what I'm saying. Oh, so before we end it, actually, Kristen, I'm actually kind of glad you brought that up. We actually do have a vehicles deck. So this is actually my personal brew, and something I actually put together in actual paper because I love Brea herself and like her abilities. So we did this one. We actually haven't done a deck like this. I actually have. Maybe you know what? Maybe I do this tomorrow. Why not? Well, let's do that tomorrow then. So we'll do one more shot at ranked, but we're actually gonna play my personal deck that I put together. I actually have this together in paper. It's my vehicle deck that I put together using Brea here, and it's a 4-color vehicle deck. This is actually a fun done, so maybe we'll do this one for tomorrow's live stream in the morning. But again, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Otherwise, my only other final things I'll just say for today, because you're all still here for a little bit longer. So we already finished up the rest of the Ninja Turtle cards for the set, and as we're getting ready for the upcoming Strixhaven, we're going to take a small break from that. And we'll actually start doing some of our basic league decks again. So we have an ultra budget Tatyova deck that I'm actually going to do. We're going to try to put together this as our next deck tech. It's free. That means there are no rares or no mythics. So anybody can put this together on pretty much any budget. And that'll be our next deck tech that we'll put out most likely Tuesday, maybe Wednesday morning. I don't know. I'm a little behind on my content, but don't worry, everyone. It is going to come out at some point. But beyond that, I'm not sure. We might just try to do a bunch of other decks that I haven't had a chance to actually talk about for future videos. But otherwise, that's pretty much it for today, everyone. I do appreciate y'all hanging in there. Thank you again for hearing me out while I'm also kind of getting frustrated from some of the stuff Urza was trying to pull off. But at least we got one Really, really good win today. So we're definitely going to highlight that one in a future clip. But for sure tomorrow, looks like we'll be doing Brea goes Vroom. So our vehicle deck will be set for tomorrow. So that's pretty much now established, everyone. But otherwise, that's pretty much it, everyone. So thanks one more time to everyone that showed up for today's streams. Shout outs to everyone that was in the chat today. So again, Bassy Cutie, when you said keep it up earlier, thanks again for popping in. Chris Santogo, thanks again for also popping in. And also your advice and your thoughts on overall with Urza. Appreciate you. Flames of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, aka Tom, thanks again for popping in. Hopefully we'll get a chance to chat again over on Discord there. Affinity for Anime, also appreciate you just as much there. Thanks again, guys, for hanging out in the chat. And for those of you that were chatting for me across other platforms such as Instagram, X, YouTube, or even Twitch, even if you didn't say anything in the chat, I still appreciate all of you guys that are watching. Replays of this will be available across all the 4 platforms, so wherever you're watching, there will be a copy for you to enjoy. Until then, have a wonderful, wonderful day, everyone. We'll get a chance to do this again tomorrow morning, probably around 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But again, I'll announce it a little bit later on tonight. Until then, my only final thing I want to leave you with is this. Just remember that no matter what you do play in the game of life, always be sure to burn bright. We'll see you again tomorrow morning, everyone. Later.